and then we can talk a little bit about other things. So to the to the bottom left-hand side is going to be our blue Terran player. It is INnoVation. And to the bottom right in this TvT best of 5 semi-final, it's going to be our red Terran. It's GuMiho. Does anyone else think the 6-month icon looks better than the 1-year version? Yeah, the 1-year version looks pretty dull. I don't know what to do to make it better. I might make it a bit darker. I might make it like a bit of a darker gray. I'm not sure. Like, it's meant to be bronze, silver, and gold, right? But like, it just doesn't work. So I might change up the colors a little bit and see what looks good and stuff like that. I'm also going to get rid of the background white so that it doesn't show up all the time, because that's a little bit annoying. Or at least the complete background, right? I made these in a bit of a rush because everyone wanted them, and I didn't have a lot of time, so I made them very quickly. I made some mistakes while making them, so I do apologize. Anyways, guys, we do have some things to mention. Again, the WardiTV Christmas Invitational kicks off tomorrow with our qualifier, and then we'll continue on Monday with Group A, and we'll have groups on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as well as our playoffs on Friday next week. So make sure you tune in for that. It's 6 days of fantastic StarCraft 2 action. And again, our qualifier will be tomorrow, where the top 4 players advance. And there's also going to be $50 on the line for the players as well. So that's all going to be setting up. Make sure you tune in for all of that. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it myself. Make sure you spread the word, get people signed up, and go tell people about it all over the place. You can post on Reddit or something. Go in the Team Liquid thread and get hyped about it. Tweet about it. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. I want to hear what you guys think. If you like the idea, if you like the tournament, if you think it's going to be cool. If you want to find out more, !Christmas into the chat, and it'll also link you to the Matcherino page. If you guys can use the WardiTV coupon code on that Matcherino page, it'll be greatly appreciated. And with the WardiTV coupon code, you can also donate yourself if you want to help raise the prize pool. We're going to try and raise it $100 through donations. So let's see if we can do that as we kick this off and look to see what's happening. Early on in this game, number 1 of the best of 5, well, Reaper has gone down from GuMiho. He has actually made a second Reaper, but straight to a Cyclone off the factory, so a bit of an interesting opening. You can see INnoVation will send his first Hellion across the map. He wants to try and do some scouting in to figure out what exactly is going on in these early stages. So Hellion will come across the map to scout here in the early stages. Up the ramp he goes, into the natural, and just having a little bit of a peek around. Now an SCV coming down the low ground will start to get roasted as well. And we'll see that SCV fall in here. So SCV goes down, and that will be that. And just again to reiterate, yes, another semi-final Hero versus Classic will also be cast here today, guys. We will cast that after this first semi-final match, which is, of course, INnoVation GuMiho right here. Look, a little bit of damage being done by this Reaper. It will now go down. So, I mean, bits and pieces. For the most part, though, both players are still just building up into army in the early stages. And, well, I mean, it's the Cloak Banshee play from INnoVation of Raven coming up from GuMiho. And GuMiho will actually be the first player to expand right now, putting down his CC on the low ground right here. So GuMiho going to be the first to expand. INnoVation, he's been doing this build a lot lately. There's the Cloak Banshee into a Raven, just one Banshee, that's all he makes. Single Banshee into the Raven, and he just goes from there. He really does, and it's kind of interesting to see that he plays this again and again and again. It's just such a solid way to open in the TvT. It really doesn't have any holes in the play. It just goes super standard, it's super cool, super simple, and it works out really well. I was going to see this Banshee going to come through the south side, and we'll move on in towards the natural, but he doesn't have Cloak just yet, so he doesn't want to get locked onto by the Cyclone. And we'll just actually back away. So Banshee backs away, and yeah, we're just going to be seeing the natural command center continue to build on up. Also over here from INnoVation too, so both players very stable in the early stages of game number 1 here, as we're just going to be seeing this couple of Hellions coming forwards, picking up a Hellion here as well. Little bits and pieces. 2 Vikings on the way out from GuMiho at the moment, and a Viking on the way up from INnoVation as well. So, yeah, just Vikings on the way from both players. As we see this barracks just going to lift up, move a little bit further forwards, and swap onto the tech lab. Get ready to build some stim. And the starport will go to the reactor to continue medevac slash probably medevac production actually. Oh no, going to be Vikings. I was going to say he could maybe go for a medevac or double medevac here, and then go for a big drop. You know, with the 2 tanks and 8 marines. That could have lined up quite nicely. The other way of doing this, of course, is to just go for the Vikings and to continue to hold the air control, which is always very important as well, generally, to have air control. It goes a long way. So both players actually going to go for air control of reactor and out Vikings at the moment. So that's happening, and we just continue to build up into this. Marines, tanks, and the Wooderman going to move across the map. So rather than dropping, it's just going to be a straight up push from INnoVation here in the early stages. So starting to move over to the right hand side. And INnoVation just going to be looking to try and siege up down on the low ground and so on. So just going to be looking to try and set that up. We're going to be seeing Stimpack is just going to be finishing very shortly from INnoVation as well. It's about from GuMiho as well. About a minute away. INnoVation's Stimpack is much further away, and that might be very problematic if it comes down to a stimmed battle. But at this point, there's not many medevacs either, so the stim isn't super effective. We're going to be seeing these Vikings coming in. It's actually a lot of Vikings here from GuMiho right now to defend this. Look at this. The auto turrets drop down. They do so much damage. The siege tanks as well. And oh my god, INnoVation just loses pretty much everything in this fight. That was an absolute crushing blow. He just lost absolutely everything he walked across the map with, apart from this one single siege tank, which does start to turn around. Now the Cloak Banshee comes into the main base, and this is pretty nice because, you know, finally INnoVation, he had this alive a long time. He finally finds a way in and gets some damage done with it. So not all bad for INnoVation here at this point in the game. After losing a lot of his army, he still manages to get a little bit of damage done to his opponent to make up for that. His third CC will finish very soon, as will GuMiho's. I imagine we'll be seeing both of those moving into location very, very shortly. Engineering base from both players, also very similarly timed. And INnoVation, I mean, it's just very slight differences between the players. Like, INnoVation has second and third racks a little bit sooner, you know, so very minimal differences at this point between the two players in game number 1 of this TvT series. Helene roasting away at this command center. You're going to see the tank coming forwards, and it does pick off one Helene here on the ramp. So one Helene on the ramp gets picked off, as we'll see a scan coming in, and we'll pick off that Widowmine as well. GuMiho continue to do good damage, as again, Vikings and a Raven are going to be pushed away from this position. So Vikings and a Raven are going to be pushed away from this position, and that's going to be seeing them continue to look around, see what else is going to be happening. As we see these Vikings coming forwards, I'm just going to start picking away at this orbital command center. So a little bit more damage being done. INnoVation not going to be able to take his third base just yet because of this air control of his opponent. It is problematic because GuMiho's continuing to just make Vikings. He has so many of them that actually INnoVation will be in a little bit of trouble because, you know, it just means that GuMiho can go wherever he wants. He can always have the vision on his opponent, whereas INnoVation will have to use scans to be able to see and all of that, and that's very painful as GuMiho here walks a bit too far forwards. We'll lose one tank straight away. Oh, gets away. I thought he might go down to a second shot, but not quite. We're going to see these tanks sieging up once again. Here we go. INnoVation will fire, and he will get the first pick off. He's actually going to pick off 2 tanks very quickly here. As he's got so many tanks sieged up, he will clean up on the ground. So it's a ground cleanup by INnoVation. These Vikings in the main base going to land, though. And oh my god, they're going to absolutely decimate some of these add-ons. So actually just go for the mineral line. I thought you might go for the kind of reactor in the tech lab, maybe even just the starport or something. This tank is going to go down as well. And oh my god, these unsieged tanks are just getting decimated by these Vikings. Absolutely crazy. Considering how much GuMiho brought across the map, the fact that it's the Vikings doing so much damage here towards the very end really is a little bit ridiculous. 3 Vikings remain, and they begin to move away. I mean, this... I was going to say maybe interceptable, but these couple of Marines are kind of busy kind of dealing with other things, and I think these tanks actually need to be careful again, because these Vikings land. We enter this position where once again INnoVation is going to be starting to take a lot of damage. He will clean out these Vikings just about. It's a very close fight towards the very end of this here as 1-1 finishes on either side of the map. Armory is up for GuMiho, about to finish in a few seconds' time. For INnoVation, though, no armory at all, and that means he is going to be missing the 2-2 upgrades, and it will be another small advantage GuMiho will take throughout these early stages now. So some SCVs coming into play, and again, just setting GuMiho up with a few more tanks and medevacs, and I guess he's just going to keep on trying to attack forwards here. I mean, he keeps on putting on pressure. Feels as though he's trading well, which... Well, actually, in terms of trading, it's pretty even. INnoVation took a lot of worker damage earlier, which means that in general he's been behind on the income for a much larger period of time, or much more for a larger period of time. Which means that, you know, GuMiho will be at a slight lead, more or less, but it's actually been very back and forth looking at this income graph. And army size, you can see, well, GuMiho took one really good fight. That was the first fight we saw. But then, after that, he actually really messed up a little bit, and he... he's kind of just been throwing away units without gaining so much. So it has been pretty good defense from INnoVation, despite looking as though he's lost so much. You have to remember, like, Vikings are pretty expensive. They make up a lot of supplies, so just throwing them away and killing 2 tanks, it might seem great, but actually, well, those Vikings are a bit more valuable than that. And we've seen these tanks sieging up, and we're going to be seeing these SCVs need to be very cautious of where they go, as we're going to be seeing, oh my god, this tank and these Marines need to be careful as well. They do not want to continue walking in that sort of direction. As INnoVation, the siege on the third base. Well, this is why we don't usually see this sort of siege up coming in, or this third base being taken. Instead, we usually see this one, like INnoVation is taken here. A bit more vulnerable to drops like this. but you can't get sieged up as easily on that base there, as we're going to be seeing. INnoVation all of a sudden has killed 18 workers, and GuMiho moves on in towards this third base right now. These Marines are going to start getting rid of a bunch of SCVs in the mineral line, so INnoVation taking damage of his own will finally be able to push this away. Still can't help but look back at those upgrades though. GuMiho with 2-2 just over halfway done right now. Just over halfway done. And when that completes, the advantage is going to be insane. He's going to have a minute and a half before the 2-2 of INnoVation kicks in. And that really could be the difference in this game at this point. We're going to see another attempt to drop from INnoVation over here as Liberator Siege up to push back these siege tanks. Goodbye. And drop into towards the main bases. Oh, the medevac of Marines inside goes down. A little bit unfortunate, but more SCVs are falling at least. He'll trade out some Marines as well. The upgrade advantage not there just yet. 11 more workers killed. And INnoVation maintaining a worker advantage, but is trailing in the army supply. So it's important that he keeps on harassing and distracting his opponent here, because if GuMiho gets a chance to go across the map with his entire army, INnoVation will struggle to defend, although TvT is a matchup of many defenders' advantages. So, you know, that is something that, you know, you've got to keep in mind as well. As we're just going to be seeing this Marine spread coming up around the map. Now, Marines and tanks getting ready to go once more here, and they are just going to be gathering up in the center. We begin to move over to the right-hand side. Tanks and Marines from GuMiho once again. All setting up and ready to go. I mean, you look at the armies, you can just see GuMiho's is so much larger. And again, with that +2/+2 advantage for the next minute and a bit, is GuMiho, who is very happy to take engagements, and INnoVation, who needs to find a way to delay. But how do you delay against someone who has this many Marines, a similar number of tanks, and is just running in towards you? Well, here we go. We see the Marines going to start moving towards you right away. The tanks just aren't going to be enough. INnoVation from the top side with some more Marines, but they're just not here in time, and GuMiho is crushing his way through this. For his worker disadvantage, he has so many other advantages in this game, and really just comes through to the fact that I think he just did the early economic damage, which, you know, put him into a bit of a better position in terms of army and where he could get to with this, and the upgrades being able to continue as well. 2-2 does play a major role in this. You cannot deny it. I mean, the way in which they're, you know, the armies, not only is there more Marines and similar tanks, but these more Marines will do more damage. They're not taking as much damage. You know, it's absolutely crazy. As we're going to see, these Liberals will get rid of another siege tank here. This is really the beginning of the end for INnoVation in Game 1, but it is a best of 5, guys. We got plenty more games coming your way from this series, at least 2 more if GuMiho will 3-0. It's not over for INnoVation just yet, but he will have to rethink his plans as we'll get set to go into game number 2 of this in a few moments' time. GuMiho picking away at the natural expansion. INnoVation tries to drop on top of these tanks in the back, which does work. You know, it does work, but still, I mean, he's lost his natural. He's going to lose his units in the main base, his production in the main base. He just can't get enough up to deal with this army. There's the GG. GuMiho will take game number 1 of the series in the semi-scoring game and introduce our players. To the bottom right-hand side of the map, down 1 map in this best of 5, but definitely a back-and-forth game. Definitely has the potential to take maps here and to put himself into a decent position. To the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player is INnoVation. And he is going up against the red Terran player. To the top left-hand side, let's see it, guys, if you're going to be cheering on GuMiho. Alright. Pretty cool series, honestly. GuMiho and INnoVation. 2 very good players. And especially in TvT, I feel. Especially in TvT, I feel there are 2 players who really are kind of, you know, they can show us the very best of what TvT is meant to be. Reaper opening from both here, and we'll be straight into a factory as well. Double gas down, so probably going to be some, you know, Reaper Hellion-based opening in the early stages. Nothing too ridiculous, nothing too crazy. I'm just going to be setting up into this. It is not a real Christmas tree, guys. It's a fake tree, but it looks pretty good. I didn't want to actually bring a real tree all the way upstairs. It would have been a bit awkward. Dragging like a real Christmas tree all the way through the office. There's so many baubles on it though, guys. Jesus, like, how did we get so many baubles on? You guys are crazy awesome. You guys are all crazy awesome for all the support lately. Very, very much. Again, any subs or donations or cheers of $1 or more, or Patreon pledges will get you a bauble on the tree. You can even have, if you buy one of the new WardiTV t-shirts or hoodies, you can also have a bauble on the tree as an added bonus. And we'll see how many we can get by the end of the Christmas period. As we see, Reaper War in the center of the map is going to go the way of GuMiho. Picking off that first Reaper. Marine from INnoVation doesn't get here in time to help out. And it's GuMiho to take that slight advantage early. Very similar opening here. As GuMiho continues to add Reapers, makes a Cyclone out of the factory. INnoVation making a Widow Mine, going to lift up that starport and move it towards the tech lab. I suppose once again, going to be a Raven actually first of all. Okay, so usually INnoVation likes to go for the Cloak Banshee, but here he's going to go for the Raven. Maybe he goes for a Cloak Banshee follow-up, maybe he doesn't bother with the Banshee at all, and just goes for something completely different to what we're sort of expecting. So, a lot of different possibilities, as those two Reapers just sitting down on the natural. Widow Mine burrows on this ramp as well. So Widow Mine burrows on the ramp, and there's the third CC now coming down also. And we're just going to be seeing the both players actually going into the sorry, not third CC, the natural CC. It caught me off guard by the position of it. Apologies. The natural CC going down now. GuMiho is in position because he has map control. That's really nice. It just means you'll get one extra SCV out of it, while this one has to lift up and come down to the low ground. You know, so. It'll be interesting as we're going to see this Raven starting to move out onto the map as well a little bit. Yeah, interesting. Just Raven Vikings, very standard slow-paced TvT early game, no harassment at all, apart from like a couple of Widow Reapers kind of having a fight early. It's really just been very laid back, as we'll see this Widow going to go to the top of the natural ramp now. Reapers can actually grenade this down, so they can actually still kill it. They just take a little while, so the Marines will have to come in and respond to this most likely. Make sure the Widow Mine doesn't fall here, so gonna move forwards. The Reaper's actually stuck a little bit in the back. The Cyclone's still here as well, so it's a bit of an awkward fight as this Cyclone is actually going pretty huge right now. INnoVation does manage to clean it out, but man, I thought for a moment or two this Cyclone might just kill everything. You never know what to expect of Cyclones nowadays. You completely, I think sometimes you completely forget just how good they can be in certain scenarios, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, you've seen the double refinery come down on the natural then, as we see. Again, Vikings coming up for both players. Still just sort of waiting to see where exactly we're going to be headed with this. As this Cyclone from GuMiho starts to move a bit further onto the map. The Widow Mine has actually moved forwards here, so we do see GuMiho stopping just before he reaches that Widow Mine, which is nice. He might actually just be able to see it. I guess he probably does see it. It's not like GuMiho's always paying attention, right? So, probably knows that's there, I think. And we'll see in a moment or two if he's just going to send this Marine to sacrifice itself. I think he is. Oh, poor Marine man. I mean, yeah, okay, he 100% knew. The speed at which he reacted with the scan, 100% knew. Alright. So, some Marines in the tank will move out then from INnoVation now, as he has got a much faster stim this time around. I mean, in general, TvT is sort of this sort of weird kind of matchup where everyone sort of does the same thing. But, you know, everything's timed slightly differently based exactly on the build, and you know, sometimes you have to defend a little bit more because you don't have stimmers earlier. You can't take a fight because combat shields is late and little things like this. But it's all kind of, you know, that's what TvT. It's adjusting to the situation of. I mean, every game is adjusting to the situation of the game, but TvT in particular, because there's so many ways of just getting to the same position as your opponent, which is obviously where you want to be, or in a better position than your opponent. So it's a pretty cool matchup. It's a pretty fun technical matchup to kind of really think about and to kind of analyze to, you know, to a large extent. What's the Viking count at? 8 against 6, Raven apiece. It's pretty similar then going across the map. I mean, there should be enough for kind of GuMiho to defend this unless kind of auto turret slash a PDD makes a major difference in the engagement. Marines and tanks still just joined up down this low, down in the center, and wondering if INnoVation is going to attack here, or if he's just going to sit back and relax. Cyclone going to come up this ramp here and going to start working his way through this SCV on the command center. So SCV will start taking a little bit down. Just Marine goes down pretty swiftly as well. Cyclone comes around the side and, well, there goes that SCV. So SCV falls, Cyclone goes down. And we'll just be seeing nice little pick-offs there as GuMiho still gathering together towards the upper left-hand side. One tank going to siege up, 2 more tanks going to siege up as well. And look at the number of Vikings here from INnoVation. So many of them starting to move towards the upper left-hand side here. So many Vikings getting set up and ready to go. Siege tank does fire, picks off one Marine there towards the front. INnoVation just, again, looking around, seeing what's up. 1-1 upgrade to combat shields. INnoVation is going to have the faster combat shields. If he wants to take a fight, I mean, I guess he doesn't have that many Marines for it to make that much of a difference. In fact, the most of the army from both players is going to be kind of Viking and tank based for now. Look at the tank count for GuMiho. 5 tanks against 2 of INnoVation. That's a crazy difference. I mean, for INnoVation not to have lost any tanks, for GuMiho to be that far ahead is pretty ridiculous. We're going to be seeing the fight coming in here. Actually going to be seeing INnoVation just back away. His Raven, full of energy, has not used it yet like the older turrets of GuMiho. And I actually kind of like that fight for INnoVation. He doesn't lose anything. He forces a lot of Raven energy to be used from his opponent. That's a pretty big deal. Now there's in-point defense drones, so if he took a fight, GuMiho would have to back away from it because then PTTs would do so much of INnoVation. It's just something that GuMiho does not have access to now. 1-1 upgrades still coming on in from both of these players. We see the extra barracks coming down as well. Finally, GuMiho going up to 5 racks. Same with INnoVation. In fact, INnoVation is already on 3, and he's already got 2 of them reactors. That's a lot of extra Marine production INnoVation has for the next few minutes of this. So already looking as though INnoVation is actually maybe in a bit of a better position overall. We haven't really seen much happen this game past the kind of sort of, again, the very early skirmishes. But INnoVation is starting to take an army supply lead. They've both had kind of income advantages at certain points when they've had to pull SCVs or whatever. You know, it's very back and forth for when they're transferring workers. But in the end, it all comes down to be very similar, I think. So, incomes are similar, and either players had a major advantage throughout. And I really just sort of feel here that INnoVation still just sort of finds a way to be a little bit ahead right now, you know? He has to start 2-2 upgrades still, so that's something he still has to invest into. I'm going to be seeing those a few times now. Army supply again, though. Look at it. From INnoVation, it's just increasing so much faster all of a sudden. And that's just the difference in having reacted barracks already up. Whereas GuMiho didn't have any reacted barracks when INnoVation was already producing off of them. So that does make a big difference. And that's where the initial jump of army supply from INnoVation comes from. It's going to be a little bit behind in the 2-2, though. And that's the next thing you should really focus on upgrading. Because, again, the longer you don't get those upgrades for, the longer you have to play in the game at certain points. Without, you know, with a large disadvantage for no real reason other than the fact that you didn't start your upgrades. So 2-2 upgrades continue rolling in, and, well, INnoVation has started his own up as he starts a 4th base as well. Still very passive, though. You know, neither player really wanted to take too much of a presence on the map or anything here. And it's surprising because on Echo, yeah, there's lots of pathways, but they do funnel all together towards this sort of position here. So if you can get in this position, you basically stop your opponent ever moving out on the map, other than by drops, which obviously can be effective as well. But that's a completely different story. I mean, drops are always going to be effective, even if you're sitting back on this side of the map as INnoVation. So, you know, I'd like to see someone trying to take some map control. I don't know why they're not so confident. Well, again, the Viking counts 13-13 and a Raven apiece. I can't believe how even that is. That's absolutely ridiculous. To be so similar. I mean, it's exactly the same. I guess the Ravens might have slightly different energy. That's what this might come down to. Where are those Vikings, by the way? There they are, sitting on the 3rd base for GuMiho. Right, he's regained the energy. Where are the Vikings for INnoVation? There they are. They were over to the left-hand side, so... I mean, a few units here and there. And let's just see the Marines, tanks, Medivacs all just gathering up together. And still GuMiho just stimming forwards and picking off a few more Marines. So a few more Marines going down at this point, and still INnoVation having a little bit of a look to see what might go on. A few more Marines down to the left-hand side from GuMiho, and just picking off 1 Marine to the very far bottom left. And we might see a bit of a major fight here. What's the tank counts at? 10-10. Very similar as well, but INnoVation loses a few units here, or might lose a few units, as he's just a little bit out of position. I think in the end he lost 1, maybe 2 tanks. Wasn't so bad given this initial situation. PDDs go down on either side. The Raven fight and the Viking fight will begin, but I think it's GuMiho taking advantage in this as well. A couple of Marine shots, which are really starting to make a difference. GuMiho does lose his Raven, and INnoVation keeps his alive. As we see a big drop to the right hand side, GuMiho looking around, looking for an opening in his own 4th base, setting up as well in a similar position. And I was just going to be seeing these units from INnoVation just gathering up together. Tanks will on siege here from GuMiho, going to try and relocate. As you can see, GuMiho himself from the right hand side going to move back on towards the center. Moving back in towards the center, we're going to see these tanks sieging up again. Up there for choke point goes GuMiho, but actually it's a choke point which he seems to be able to attack through, as his Marine count seems to be winning out. A few more Marines coming in though from INnoVation. He actually still holds on the ground. In fact, it's INnoVation that comes out ahead on Marines, especially with those few extra coming in towards the end. Vikings moving forward as well. We actually see Liberators introduced into the fight. They have to be targeted down. That was maybe a little bit overzealous there by INnoVation to siege them so far forwards. Viking Wall goes the way of INnoVation. They're 9-0 now. He has convincingly won the sky battle. And in the end, the Marines from INnoVation on the ground just did so much. So much more than I was expecting them to. Scan coming down as INnoVation. We'll see where his opponent is moving. He's going to try and find the right location to fight into, leaving his Vikings to trade with these medevacs. He knows he's got a huge air advantage, and that's why he's making more Liberators, because he knows that's a way for him to shut down the tank lines, to push those back, and to break positions of GuMiho so easily. 3 Liberators currently being made, and them 3 Liberators really are just going to be the bane of GuMiho right now, because what has he got? You know, he can send Marines forwards, but if the tanks are positioned well with INnoVation, alongside his Liberators, then there's just no chance. And one Liberator comes in here, gets one shot, will just unsiege, relocate, and this is exactly what's going to be super frustrating, as INnoVation just has this game on lockdown, it would seem, for the most part. Going to be seeing the, it's just gathering up to the right-hand side once again. Still looking to see what's up and what might happen. As more units coming in here. INnoVation looking to see what he might be able to do. Vikings going to get pushed away momentarily. Turn back around, coming back in. A Liberator Sieges. Tank is actually firing as well, which will help to pick away at a couple more tanks. And it's again GuMiho, who's just losing a little bit here, a little bit there, time and time again. And GuMiho just doesn't have an answer. You know, I feel at this point he's like split half his army off and just try and go for a huge counterattack or something like, something crazy. Because at the moment he just keeps running in circles, and that isn't really taking him anywhere. And the Razor Sieger once again. I mean, even if he just picks off or gets another tank or 2 low, it's just progress being made, and INnoVation keeps on pushing his opponent back. There's 4 trying to come in now, but the Liberators reach it, and so the 4 can't even do that much damage without falling as well. Liberator siege up once again. I mean, one of them will go down to the 4, but the damage about to be done here is absolutely insane. This 4 will go down. The tanks are going down as well. SCVs are dropping. 7, 8, 9 workers killed, and INnoVation continues to push up this right-hand side of the map. You're going to siege up in range of this planetary fortress now. That's going to be a dead 4th base. And GuMiho, well, he'll just launch a counterattack, or try to at least, I think. I think he realizes that may be one of his better options. Is actually, it's going to be GuMiho INnoVation to start pulling back, so he wants to get into position to fight this. These couple of Liberators have to be a little bit careful, does not really want to have those fighting Marines. Stemming in now, INnoVation going to start taking this fight. Liberators will siege up, the Vikings picking off medevacs in the sky. INnoVation pulls back momentarily towards his tanks, which is important for him because he has got the tank advantage if he can utilize it. So just want to make sure he tries to keep on using that. 2 more tanks siege up over here. These Marines are going to buy a little bit of time, and in fact these Marines are going to just absolutely destroy the Marines of his opponent, just because they're not having a very good time taking on kind of just because they're taking so much damage from the tanks. Sorry, my words get mixed up a lot today. Anyways, we're going to see this tank and Liberator over here. We'll get rid of this 4th base. So great response from INnoVation. Leaves so little behind, as we're going to be seeing these Marines stimming in once again. This command center taking a lot of damage. We're going to be seeing it down to half health, and will probably be dropping as well. So 5th base goes down from INnoVation. We're 4 base against 4 base. Then is GuMiho. Well, 4 base against 4 base. This is main base orbital moved out, but he does have a 4th base set up. But there's a Liberator. He'll deny mine for a little while, and even just denying mine for a few seconds here is so detrimental for GuMiho, who needs absolutely everything he can get. The last 2 or 3 minutes from INnoVation has been a beautiful execution of how to close out a TvT when you've got that slight lead, when you've got that air control, and he's shown us wonderfully how to do it. He's denied a counterattack, he's pushed himself into good positions, he showed us the patience you need to get into those decent positions, and he's just all of a sudden 65 supply up from just a series of solid, small decisions. And that's a lot of supplies. These Marines run forwards, they cannot reach this Liberator. They are just continuing to fall right now. Okay, one of them at the time can reach. Liberator picking up some more kills there towards the end, as well, INnoVation will probably just move over in that direction now to try and take down that expansion. The less mining of his opponent, the better position he is in, of course. He will stem forwards right away, and actually GuMiho doesn't recognize it. He's just going to keep on moving to the right. He's already evacuating the SCVs. INnoVation not going to chase after that. He's getting ready for the counterattack. Does not want to be too far out of position if these units come in. You know, the last thing INnoVation wants when he's in a lead like this is for maybe a base trade to occur, and a base trade can maybe create that awkward situation where GuMiho does find a way to get back into the game and to come back in. And we've seen Marines stepping forwards again. A couple more Marines going down here from GuMiho. And the SCV is going to go back over to the left-hand side. Marines still stepping forwards. We're just going to be seeing the fight continue to happen. There's only an orbital here now, right? So he doesn't have to worry too much about the positioning. As tanks moving forwards again, and it's just the tank count which is so deadly now. It's 12 tanks against 1 on the map. INnoVation with a pretty major advantage in that one. We'll see those tanks siege up again, and one single Viking up in the skies, a couple of Vikings in the skies trying to work their way through. INnoVation has more or less lost his air control now at this point. I mean, he's still got a few Liberators, still got a few Vikings. He just stims on in. Only one tank isn't going to do the damage you need. INnoVation isn't bothering to siege up his tanks. He's just going to keep on fighting with this here. There goes the Liberator sieging. GG, and INnoVation will tie this series up. What is Habitation Station? Alright guys, how are we doing? Shout out to Propagare in the chat. He says, bought your hoodie a couple of minutes ago at Teespring. Thank you very much for buying a hoodie. Again guys, hoodies and shirts are back on sale. Exclamation mark shirts in the chat if you want to get your hand on some. He also says, thanks for signing his Legacy of the World Collector's Edition at Home Story Cup. No worries, dude. It was nice to chat to you for a few minutes as well. And asked a question which I already responded to in the chat. Thank you very much, dude. If you would like to have a bauble on the tree, you may have a bauble on the tree because you are because you bought a hoodie. So if you'd like a bauble, let me know which color: green, shiny green, silver, or glittery silver, and I shall add you to the tree in bauble form, if you would like. If you would like. No pressure. No pressure. To the top right hand side of Habitation Station, we'll be starting off with our blue Terran player. It is INnoVation. Oh, it's so nice. I mean, why is my FPS still on 60? My FPS should be so much higher. God damn it. And to the bottom, top left hand side, red Terran player is going to be GuMiho. Alright. So, this is fun. Been some good games so far today. And as we set up into our next game of this, we do have again after this one more best of 5 at least. We will have the best of 5 between Hero and Classic coming up after this, guys. And we'll also have the best of 5 finals coming up after as well. We've also got Team League action coming in for you guys for much later on in the day from what time do we start our Team League action? 6:30 PM CET. Team Liquid make their Season 7 debut, as we're also going to be having they'll go up against Cascade, a very solid team from the last season, did make the playoffs. In fact, Liquid knocking them out in the playoffs 4-0 in the quarterfinals. And then we'll go into Millennium versus Invasion Esports afterwards as well. So that's all going to be happening live from 6:30 PM CET today. That's in about 3 hours time for you guys, 3 hours and 15 minutes. We are going to try and keep the stream live between the SGL and the Team League later. So we're going to have a nice long day stream. Going to try and keep the stream live, keep the viewers rolling in. I'm not sure if we're going to rebroadcast some stuff or if we're just going to straight up do some more fun stuff. Maybe we can do some fun games. Maybe we can ladder a bit. Yeah, but we don't know. So we're going to be doing something along those lines. But we'll keep the stream live between our Playfin Cup and Team League action later today. As we see 2 Reapers and a Cyclone starting to move across the map. Gonna actually go up the ramp here. Widowmine's gonna hit the Cyclone though, and that's gonna be a huge part of the defense for INnoVation. Cyclone doesn't die just yet. It goes so low. Oh my god, 1 HP. Staying alive and only losing a Reaper from all of that is absolutely insane. Absolutely ridiculous. Cannot actually believe that just happened. I'm going to see this Reaper from GuMiho continuing to move around. Going to go over to the right-hand side and have a look to see what else is going on. So we will try and actually slow down the CC from building. Now we did see a Banshee being built, and that is from GuMiho. A Cloakless Banshee coming across the map right now to try and get some damage done against INnoVation. So he's going to be coming across this top side. We'll be moving in towards the main base here very shortly. As you see a few Marines from INnoVation just sat around as well. This Reaper moving around from GuMiho actually gets taken down. So Reaper does go down now. And you see this Banshee comes in and SCV falls. And that's going to be that. Marines continue to work its way through the Banshee. A little bit more damage being done. Viking's going to give chase though. I'd say in general INnoVation's in a fairly okay position here. That said, a CC already finished from GuMiho. Not too much earlier, but the third CC is building as well. Actually building in location at that. So GuMiho getting a little bit greedy right now. But it may very well pay off for him still. We shall see. As we're going to see this Viking should finally just about be able to pick that off. There we go. Banshee goes down. And this Cyclone still continuing to move around here. A few Vikings actually from INnoVation going up towards the northern side. You'll see this siege tank is going to be popping out in a few moments as well. Stimpack is going to be coming up also. And we're going to be seeing more and more Vikings continue to roll on out over the next few minutes. Alright, so both players just building up Vikings and we begin to stabilize here very early on. And going towards the mid-game where GuMiho will have a big economic lead, especially with the speed of that third command center. You got to ask ourselves, does INnoVation maybe just have a push in him to straight up kill GuMiho? 10 army supply ahead and moving forwards, his air control is dominant. Let's see what he can do as we look to see what's going to be happening. A bunker will come on up, so we're going to see a bunker coming down. And again, 2 Vikings and a Raven join up together here alongside the rest of these Vikings, this Raven as well. Here we go, INnoVation. Does he have what he needs? Again, the air control, I think, is just the kind of dominant feature here. He's actually going to land the Vikings over in the main. All the turrets are going to go down on either side. INnoVation makes his way through these very easily, very swiftly, though. As now we see SCVs being pulled in at the same time. Does Inno make a move to the natural? Not really. 11 workers killed. It's decent damage to pull him back into the worker count a bit, but he's still 6 workers down. He still doesn't know about the third base, which has been built in location. So INnoVation doesn't know how early this has come down here. And that is obviously a big issue for him, as we're going to be seeing these units just backing away. He starts his own third command center now, but again, missing out on a third base is, he could have probably moved these units into position to punish the third base. That's the thing. It's not that, he necessarily could have killed it, but if he could have just denied mine in there for just a few more seconds, it could have made such a big difference. Every little thing does add up, and, if he could have picked off 2 or 3 more workers, that might be the difference between him maintaining a worker lead and GuMiho actually just evening things out, so we shall see. We shall see. Little tanks continue to move forwards here. You can see Marines taking a little bit of damage. INnoVation going to unsiege and back away over to the right-hand side once again. Third CC finishing up from Inno. Overall, so his third CC is going to finish in a time where the income's actually going to have been pretty similar throughout. You can see there's been slight differences when certain players had to pull workers, but apart from that, it's going to end up being actually pretty similar here for the most part. I don't think Inno will actually end up with that much of an advantage, or GuMiho will end up with that much of an advantage either. A little bit of a drop in towards the main base here. GuMiho dropping a single tank, and he doesn't really have that many other units, but INnoVation is a little bit blind in this many. He sees the Vikings though, so he'll come in and fight the Vikings. Raven will drop an auto turret here to help on the ground. In terms of actually the Viking war though, I think INnoVation will just about win out. This auto turret's about to die off. And these tanks are in position though onto the production of INnoVation, which is obviously a little bit problematic here. This medevac will probably go down as well. Now here's the next problem, as we're going to be seeing there's no way out for any of these units of GuMiho. So these tanks will go down. And so our new question becomes, has there been enough here? The Viking goes down as the Raven stays alive. That auto turret on the ground is an absolute hero. Auto turret just about staying alive. And another medevac comes in, actually, having kicked off that Viking. Medevac can come in and just lift up that last tank and get it out of there. Some nice little play by GuMiho. He does lose a lot though still. While INnoVation, yes, his production was under fire. But the reality is, it's still not dead. It's still producing. So it's still in the game. And so GuMiho, what he committed into trying to kill there, just didn't work out. You can see how much he lost in comparison to INnoVation in the last couple of moments. Well, he was losing about twice as much army supply. So that is painful there. Those 2 tanks will siege up in the center. INnoVation is about to lose these 2 Marines as they don't know what's coming until the tanks fire at them from a distance. And GuMiho continues to sit in this position. We're going to see an SCV or 2 being pulled in, going to start repairing up the tank, the medevac, and the Raven in the center of the map. While you send in damaged units and you can so easily bring them back up to health and just give them a bit more of a chance as the game continues. SCV going down then, so SCV does fall. Another tank going to unsiege here from INnoVation, and Marine tank and medevacs are going to be setting up and getting ready to continue on. Cool, SCV is going to come in towards the upper watchtower, and there's going to be seeing GuMiho here with the Raven being repaired. I'm just going to be seeing, again, more Marines coming through the south side. Some more Marines coming through the south side. Combat shields does finish up as well. And over to the left we go. INnoVation. With just so many units right now. His advantage is insane. Like, he's also got 1-1 against 0-0 for another minute. That's also a huge timing window you can look to hit. He has scans. Sees his opponent is completely out of position when it comes to actually defending this third base. At the same time, he's going to be completely out of position when it comes to defending his main. So, bit of a weird one, because obviously losing workers in your losing stuff in your main base always sucks, because then you lose your production. And, INnoVation, he realizes the kind of situation. He has to go up this ramp. He has to shut down the production of his opponent ASAP here as well. 1 tank shot, and that will be all, as these tanks will siege up on the low ground. I'm not sure about them sieging up, actually, because I feel as though the friendly fire is going to be absolutely insane right now, as INnoVation is losing a lot across the map. These tanks and Marines stay strong. Army supplies are very even, but again, I feel as though it's definitely going to be INnoVation who's losing a little bit more army a little bit faster, in terms of not being able to produce any further. Where are those engineering bays for GuMiho? One of them in the back here, but not actually upgrading. They're in the natural expansion. That would have been huge to actually deny these. Well, this is crazy because really, this comes down to a point, I think, where, I mean, SCVs are going to try and pull in and whatever, but I don't really know if INnoVation is going to be able to clean much up. He can lose a lot of SCVs. He's got a few more Marines popping out as well. He actually is starting to take down the tanks, which is huge, of course. If the tanks go down, then as the game goes on, INnoVation should just be able to win it out in terms of chasing down Medivacs. And it looks as though INnoVation is indeed going to take game number 3. As we're going to be seeing these tanks continue to clean up a few more structures, a few more buildings. I'm just going to be seeing these Marines just coming in and just going to take down a couple more Marines here at the very end. So, a few more Marines, getting rid of a few more SCVs, but again, INnoVation, well, the army supplies are still very similar here. There's actually a few units gathering up in the back of GuMiho's base. I mean, INnoVation actually probably has to stay sieged right now, otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Tanks are starting to do the damage they need to do. That's actually quite essential. This starport as well is important that it goes down, actually. We're going to be seeing Vikings coming forward. It's not enough. The Marines get decimated, and GuMiho will GG out. Getting a little bit closer than it should have been towards the very end. GG's. And if I see what you're saying, thank you very much. I actually remember that as well, right? You're like, oh, can... You're like, guys, I was like, you sure you want me to sign it? I was like, unsure. I was like, are you sure? I was like, I'll sign it on the side so I don't take up too much space. That was funny. I don't want to be right in the center. There's more important people you want on there. You know, when all the Koreans are there, you want the Korean signatures on that. Not mine. Not in the front anyways. Guys, it is game number 4 and INnoVation has taken a lead as he has spawned into the top right hand side of Overgrowth as the blue Terran player. And down to the bottom left-hand side, the red Terran player is going to be GuMiho. Get a second tree. Second tree is being discussed. We are debating just getting a second tree and putting one on the other side. Right now, to be fair, I think we can probably put twice as many baubles on this one as are already on. It sounds ridiculous, but there is a lot of free branches. It's just going to take a lot of kind of, you know, a lot of kind of squidging. There's also a lot of space at the bottom, which I haven't filled yet, just because you guys can't see the bottom of the tree. So that's something we have to work on. Still no star. Lib, the star is coming. I 100% promise you, the star is on its way. I've been trying to... We know we've got a star in my house somewhere, and we've been looking for the star, and we just don't know where it is. We just don't know where it is. So we're working on it. The star will be here shortly. Fear not. We will not scam you. We will give you what you pay for. We will give you what you pay for. Syria wants a glittery silver bauble. This glittery silver one's a bit weird. Let me get another one out. This one's got something on it. Man, these are meant to be luxury baubles. Let me get you a nice one. There we go. I'll write this now. Actually, glittery silver ones are really hard to write on. As we just set up here, by the way, guys, an earlier expansion from GuMiho, something we haven't seen too much of in this best of 5 TvT so far. So an interesting way to change things up in the early stages of this right now. As we just set up and get ready to go. So CC going to be finishing. Obviously, INnoVation has a bit of a faster kind of tech tree to work with here. He's going to be able to, you know, just kind of go into this Cloak Banshee a bit faster and be aggressive, and that's going to be his way to make up for having a much slower command center in this game. You know, by having the ability to go into Cloak Banshee and whatever else, he'll be able to do so much more. So there's a Raven coming down, starting up in production already here. So Raven coming on up. And again, Marine and a Widowmine on the way as well from INnoVation right now as we speak. A couple of Hellions from GuMiho just going to be sitting out front. And, yeah, just everything just getting set up and ready to go. This Reaper from GuMiho going to take this right-hand watchtower, and a couple of Hellions continue to come up in the production tab as well. And just little bits and pieces all around the map right here as GuMiho again begins to... And INnoVation both setting up. Watch for INnoVation, though. He actually goes into the Raven early on, so I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a different plan here to what we were maybe expecting. I'm intrigued, actually, because, you know, he is on a later expansion, so he has to look to do some sort of pressure, right, or take some sort of advantage from this. And right now, I guess his advantage may not come immediately, but more so once he's actually, you know, after the first couple of minutes. After the first couple of minutes, maybe he has a bit more army supply. to kind of do some more damage. You're going to see these Hellions moving forwards and Marines just trying to help deflect these, of course. One Hellion over to the right-hand side here. We'll just take the Watchtower momentarily. What was that? Is that the Widow Mine? Yeah, Widow Mine going down. So Widow Mine gets picked off at the front here. I've actually picked off one of the Hellions or something, I think. Either way, I mean, Starport lands on a reactor, barracks to the tech lab, and I guess we just see a similar push to what we've been seeing. You know, a couple of tanks, a lot of Marines, an earlier stim, but of course a lot of Vikings in the sky. The air control is really what both of these players have been playing for throughout the last few games. Like, we've been seeing air control to whole new levels, like 10 plus Vikings from both, just to try and establish a position that they can't, their opponents can't really fight from. So that's what we're sort of looking at right here, as you see those Hellions just joined up to the bottom left-hand Watchtower now, and more Marines just coming out and joined up at the natural expansion. Couple of Vikings on the way from GuMiho. This factory going to lift up and is going to land onto a tech lab. And he is going to be playing mech, it would seem. His barracks is off to float in another direction, and as he goes up into third CC, I mean, he's already on 4 gases, which isn't too weird. I mean, if you're reactoring out Vikings, then actually to have a if you're reactoring out Vikings, then yeah, it's actually not so bad of it's not that bad of a thing to kind of have double gas on the natural, anyways. But I do feel as though it's going to be mech. I mean, the main indicator being the fact that he doesn't use this barracks for anything else. So, and the kind of Hellion count as well, obviously, is very indicative of a mech-based follow-up. There's INnoVation. Has to be cautious. I mean, a lot of these Hellions still stuck around over this top side. If INnoVation moves out, all of a sudden this counterattack can come in, and a lot of SCVs could go down so quickly. So, does have to be very, very careful about that. As again, we see these units. Just going to gathering up on this right-hand side Watchtower now. A few more Marines coming in as well, looking to see what they can do. And just 2 more tanks once more joining up over here. A few Hellions underneath from GuMiho, seeing what they can do, as we're actually going to see him starting to take a bit of a fight here. Order turret will drop to help push these Hellions away. There's a lot of Marines that have already dropped down dead though, and well, the tanks can unsiege now and also come across the map. Whether that was intentional to leave them behind initially, it might have been, because if he knows there's Hellions on the map, he might have left the tanks to sort of protect against the Hellions initially, just to stop them from running by. Now we're going to see a run by though, and that's GuMiho going to try and buy himself some time as he runs into his mineral line. There's no units here from INnoVation. He is pulling back. My god, those units or SCVs are so lined up. That's 5 workers killed already. Now 6, now 7. And INnoVation is taking a lot of damage in these early stages from these Hellions. We're going to be seeing one more Hellion going down, a few more continued drop down here. The Hellions get cleaned out, but man, INnoVation loses quite a lot there. 10 worker deficit for him. And it's again the earlier 3rd command center from GuMiho, which just puts him into a nice little position here. INnoVation's 3rd CC, I guess, is closer to the 3rd, which is advantageous, but it's still just a little bit of a weird situation. And as we're going to be seeing the 2 Hellions going to be joined up down, or moving around town to the bottom right, these 2 tanks as well, looking to set up and see what's going to be going on. A few Marines and tanks going to be from INnoVation, again moving on the map, still trying to play very aggressively against this mech style, just trying to keep on pressuring early, which isn't necessarily the best way. I mean, in a way, if you can shut down mech before it masses up, then that's brilliant, but I don't think INnoVation can really do a lot here to kind of break his opponent anytime soon. Viking and Raven counts are very similar. There's turret set defensively. There's so many tanks as well, of course, because he's working off of double factory, so he's making Hellions and tanks at the same time. It's bit of an odd one. Bit of an odd few moments here as we just wait to see what exactly does INnoVation do overall. Like, he's definitely behind INnoVation just from the very early game. Like, it just hasn't gone so well for him compared to his opponents. So INnoVation definitely behind, and losing another 7 workers now doesn't help with that. 2 Hellbats just wandering into the natural expansion, picking up even more damage. Now we're going to see INnoVation being pushed in towards his 3rd base, and well, INnoVation just doesn't know about this, right? So he's going to immediately have to lift up his 3rd, but if he lifts his 3rd, these Vikings are going to have a field day, and well, this could be a little bit of a messy few moments, as we're going to see the Vikings have to respond here from INnoVation. Like, he cannot afford this base to just be targeted down, right? So he has to come in with this, and now obviously GuMiho sort of knows this. PDDs go down on either side, and both players will just PDD each other to death. Now we're going to see the Ravens on either side going down as well. I actually think INnoVation's taking the better fight here, and GuMiho recognizes that. He drops his Vikings down to the ground. Big counterattack coming in from INnoVation. And as we see, obviously GuMiho will just continue with his ground attack. 1 tank setup is not necessarily going to be enough here at all. as the Vikings will begin to land a little bit further back. SCV's pulling in immediately to try and buy some time across the map. SCVs get pulled in as well, so both players taking a lot of damage. It's INnoVation who's doing a little bit more with this, though. His tanks are still around on the other side, and they are doing so much more. 22 workers killed, and now these Vikings will stick around. They're actually just going to fight this all together, and you can see the tanks continue to fall here. Marines and Marauders move forwards, and they'll pick off the last 2 tanks. GuMiho gets cleaned out, loses 23 workers in the process, and INnoVation holds quite convincingly back at home. What a great set of moves from INnoVation. Wins the fight in the sky, realizes his opponent will attack, sends his ground army to counterattack, knowing how much is committed across the map from his opponent, and then just pulls his SCVs in to make sure he can defend. Brilliant play by INnoVation, and that's again putting him into an advantage here. And you can just see this series in general, INnoVation has an answer for absolutely everything that's going on. Absolutely nothing has been stopping him in this. You know, even when he's been a little bit behind, he's found the right ways to jump back into the game and to get going once again. And he's just looked so good in these last few games. I mean, this game's not over yet, but that was such a great little move to really put him, you know, because what else is he going to do? Like, he could stick around, just take a straight up fight on the ground and whatever, but, you know, then GuMiho probably doesn't commit it and he just backs away, and then INnoVation's just left not doing anything and staying behind workers, having his third base denied from mining. Whereas now INnoVation, you know, he got damage done. He killed a lot of workers. You know, it's a much better trade than what he would have got by staying at home. Really well played by Inno, as we see again. A few Hellions just joining up beneath these Vikings next to these siege tanks. Guess you have a turret coming down as well here to the side. And, well, units will, from INnoVation, continue to move on down and probably in towards the third base in the next few moments. So, getting ready to go with that, as you see a single Hellion and Marine here from INnoVation just going to be trading out on this watchtower. And you see this... I guess picked off the Vikings coming forward, helping to push a medevac away as well. And just a few more units coming out onto the map. INnoVation with a slight supply lead. I mean, this is still mech he's playing against, so being, you know, even in supply is not necessarily brilliant for him, and being on the same number of bases, it's not ideal. There's definitely better positions he could be in, but he's definitely done enough to bring himself into a better position than he was in. And now he's going to continue trying to do that. Going to try and drop around this left-hand side towards the main base very, very shortly. Let's see how this much damage this drop will do. There's just single turrets that up. Not too many. Vikings will start to respond to this. I feel as though these Vikings of INnoVation... Oh, he actually backs away. Okay, doesn't go for it. I felt as though the Vikings with GuMiho might actually be able to sort of just clean up anyway. The Vikings of INnoVation would have had to land, and then there's no real way out for INnoVation. It's a big commitment to not really necessarily do a lot. He'd be much better off using these units to continue keeping his opponent, you know, away from kind of a gold base and so on, you know, like, you know, keep him from taking a 4th base and use that advantage rather than trying to drop into a position he's just not going to do so much in, or at least not going to be guaranteed to do much in. Hellions still just moving around here. And just looking to try and defend. INnoVation going to find, or try to find a way down the right side of the map to do damage. Problem with Overgrowth is that there's a few different attack paths, but the attack pathways are so short base to base. But as soon as GuMiho wants to attack, he will hit, you know, he'll move out, and all of a sudden he's on INnoVation's front doorstep. And the the issue there from INnoVation is that, boom, all of a sudden he has to find a way to be able to fight that mech army. So he always has to be ready to counterattack. He can't even let GuMiho begin to move out, because as soon as GuMiho begins to move out, INnoVation is in trouble, because he just is going to struggle to find a way to fight this army. Air control goes the way of GuMiho. 9 Vikings, and now adding on Liberators as well. And we see a little bit of bio in the center, just trading with these Hellions. And those are the sort of fights that INnoVation wants to take. Taking a 4th base in location as well. Still controlling the right-hand side of the map with his main army. Sat over here, keeping the watchtower control. Again, important, because as soon as his opponent moves out, he wants to know about it. Because he needs to be able to strike, attack, and do a lot of damage in response to that. You see these Vikings landing so many Hellions over here. Well, INnoVation's going to have to find a few more reinforcements if he wants to fight against all of these. GuMiho will scan. He'll identify the 4th base of INnoVation coming up now to the right-hand side as well. We'll still just see these few Marauders going to be picking away. Hellion and Hellion after Hellion continuing to go on down. And as we'll be seeing INnoVation moving forwards with this singular siege tank. Marine here gets roasted by these few Hellions, so a little bit of damage done there. Marauder and a few Marines will stem ahead of time as well, try and see what else they can get up to in terms of denying damage and so on. And one more scan. Both players again trying to keep information as to what's going on, as to what is happening right now. Marines and Marauders picking off a couple of these Hellions here right away. Some more as well, and he's starting to trap in these Hellions. This is really nice for him. The more of these he picks off, the less control there is on the map from GuMiho. As SCVs, though, will be in a little bit of trouble, stacking up a little bit here. Units will come in to defend just about in time, and these Hellions will not get too much more done. 5 workers killed. Not bad at all, considering how many Hellions he just killed off. INnoVation will be very happy with that. Resources lost very much so in INnoVation's favor, which is, for a bio player playing against mech, not often what you see. Tanks, Vikings, Liberators all join up in the center now. INnoVation, is he ready to fight this? Because this army is now moving forwards. We've been talking about this all game long. The ability to counterattack as soon as his opponent begins to move out. And is he just going to base trade this, or is he going to try and attack in from the back? He might just try and attack in from the back, already moving forwards. The tanks are sieging. Yeah, there's no way he moves into this. His counterattack will be good, though, with these units to the right-hand side. He just needs to find a way to get rid of this army now, and that's not going to be easy. Liberators, Vikings, and all the rest of it. INnoVation will keep on scanning, will keep looking for those chances. And again, it's not going to come easily at all. More Hellions go across the map to reinforce. And what on earth is going to happen here? I really do not know. I really do not know. Tanks continue to move forwards in towards the natural expansion. Another scan coming down here on top of this army to the left-hand side. These tanks siege, another tech lab falls. This factory will go down as well. More depots continuing to drop at this point. Refinery going down as well. INnoVation pulls back, happy that he's denied the third base for a little while here. Feeling as though he just needs everything he can get. He can make a pretty large multi-pronged aggression here from the south, from the left, and probably from the upper right as well. We're going to have to zoom out to make sure we see all of this. In fact, loses his units to the south already. INnoVation, big mistake from him in terms of that. As we're going to be seeing these couple of tanks continue to work their way through one of this, through this orbital command. Liberators sieging up once again. We're going to be seeing a couple of Marauders going down here. I'm just going to be seeing units moving up in towards the main base. GuMiho looking to try and do a bit more damage as he pushes on in. I mean, INnoVation, what does he do? Does he try and base trade it? I feel as though he's waited too long. Look how many tanks are left at home. GG. Did not have a way to deal with all of them. Let's see why as we go to the top side of the map. Our blue Terran player is INnoVation. Dropping game number 4 to allow his opponent to tie things up 2 games apiece. His opponent being to the south side of the map, our red Terran player. It is GuMiho. Dun dun dun. And guess what he's doing? He's proxy to Reactor Brain. Alrighty, baby. GuMiho, he's sick of these longer games. He wants to speed things up a little bit. Get things done a little bit faster in this 5th game of the series. Remember, after this, guys, Classic plays Hero in our 2nd semi-final. And our finals will come up after that. 2 more best of 5s with great high-end level Korean players after this game. As we're going to be seeing the first Reaper on the way up. Now, INnoVation's build, the double gas-based opening with gas first Reaper base play, is a great way for him to open here. You know, as far as this goes for INnoVation, he's going to have the right units. You know, he's going to have units coming out that can help him deal with this. It's just a matter of, does he control it correctly? Does he get enough out in time? And that's what we're going to be looking at here. Is GuMiho going to be popping out with his first Reaper? We'll just wait with this. INnoVation, does he move onto the map or does he just sit here? He's going to start moving out onto the map. He's going to go to the side. He sees the barracks. He sees 2 of them. So now he knows what's up. He just take a shot off on this Reaper. He drops a grenade. Nice grenade. Forces his opponent back. Needs another unit here. Needs the SCVs even. Will help. As a bunker starts to come up, though, and that will put GuMiho, INnoVation into a bit of pressure to actually start getting rid of that here. We'll start to target down this SCV grenade to force the Reapers away. He will pick off that SCV. Good play from him so far. Marine coming up as well. You see a grenade coming down from GuMiho, blasting a few SCVs away. INnoVation can afford to lose a couple of workers here, but not too many. His first Hellion about to come out. The Reaper again very low for him as he continues to try and fight against this. Another grenade coming down, and Hellions are going to fall as well now. These Marines alone don't really do enough. This Reaper will just about get away on very low health. Another Reaper. Oh, sorry, that Reaper coming back in on a super low health still. Hellion on the way back up as well. More SCVs have to pull in at this point. INnoVation maybe losing a little bit too much. Liberator will start. I mean, the Liberator is sort of a win condition for the non-Reapering player here, where if he gets that Liberator up, actually, he's able to send it across the map and there's no anti-air, so it's sort of, you know, you just win the game. Factory will start to build here from GuMiho, realizing that's probably something he needs to start worrying about. You're going to see these Reapers not having the best of time trying to come up here. Actually, a little bit of a mistake by GuMiho as INnoVation continues to push this away. And INnoVation will contain his hold for now. 5 workers down. Again, that Liberator can change absolutely everything, though, as he pushes and kills another Reaper. That's just huge for INnoVation. And GuMiho is just going to type out GG right there. He knows he's not going to be able to fight the Liberator. Wow, losing too much. GuMiho taps out, and INnoVation is going to be able to take game